If I had to pick out the manifestation technique that works the best, there's a lot of noise out, it would hands down be the one that we're going over in this video. Why? Well, it's been said a picture is worth 1,000 words. 10 photos that mean something to you is pretty much 10,000 words. Most of the manifestation techniques are fine. They're having you write down a lot of things. Where they're missing the mark is there's no visualization, there's no image. You think of superpowers, what do you think of? Superman, Spider-Man, Wonder Woman. Now, I don't know how much you can bench press. I don't know how fast you run, but I know one thing, that you have a superpower that pretty much no other animal has. You know what that is? Your ability to think greater than your current environment. Visualization. Your brain. What is visualization? Holding images in your mind, taking the invisible and making it visible. Whether you do that through a vision board, whether you do that through sitting and meditating, whether you do that through watching a movie, that is visualization. Don't overcomplicate it. In fact, any manifestation technique that's worth its weight in salt is a form of visualization. You're thinking to the end result and you're visualizing. You follow me? How do you do it? Let's talk about it. What we're doing here is the biggest visualization hack that I know of. It's a vision board. There's a lot of bad PR with vision boards. The movie The Secret came out and people thought that a vision board was something you like cut out of magazines and you make a big cork board, and then what does it do? It sits in your closet collecting dust for like 10, 20 years. You never look at the thing. Just keeping it real. Now, if you like the cork board and the magazine cutouts, that's fine. You go for it. You cut those magazines. Personally, for me, being in, the digital age, literally 2 steps away from a metaverse, who knows, maybe we'll have one of those vision boards. It'll be a vision room and you can literally walk around and see yourself. Until then, what we're doing is a digital vision board. So let me show you a few examples of this, and then you and I are going to make one together step by step. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks to add in and make this even more effective to tap into that superpower we talked about. This is my 2018 vision board. Probably the first year I started doing this very seriously. I used to visualize myself earning what's called a silver play button. Okay, here's like a gold play button. This is what they send you when you hit 1 million subscribers. But I wanted that, like what it represented of 100,000 subscribers. A year before this, I was in my mom's basement. If you know the story, 2 years before that, I was struggling just to, figure out what the hell I was gonna do. Building this YouTube channel was really scary. And I would just every day go back to visualizing 100,000 subscribers in that play button. Never forget the day, YouTube, they send you one of these bad boys. Here's 2020. Last year's vision board simplified it even more if you saw that video. And finally, we have the 2022 2.0 vision board. Now, I am gonna blur some of this out just because it is proprietary. We talk about this in our Metamorphic program. We don't just stop at a vision board, we give you a vision book. This is powerful. Just like designing a dream character in a movie or a video game or a story, we go super deep into that concept. You can see it's just updated from the previous years. Not a lot changed, and that's okay, except for the shirtless dude. That changes every year. So now you're probably thinking, well, how do I actually do this, Clark? And I'll walk you through, I'll give you some tips and tricks so you can walk away and actually do this, start tapping into that visualization. First step, open up a blank document. I do this in Pages, the Mac version of Microsoft Word. Any of them work, don't get caught up in the tech. That is step 1. Step 2, you might before this video, just if you don't have a list of goals, create one. What are like 5 things you want to accomplish this year would make it feel like a win for you? It's okay if you don't have that, you can still do this exercise. I just find it's better. Better yet, if you watched our ultimate guide to keeping a journal tutorial and you have them in the back of your journal right there, that's gonna help a lot. Again, optional, but this speeds it up. Step number 3, you're gonna go to Google. Our good friend. Start with something easy. Let's look at nice houses. Scottsdale is what I Googled. And so look, I have 0 originality because that I think is actually on my vision board. Just the first one. Come here, copy image, go back, paste image. You just ordered yourself a nice house. You can do this in landscape mode. I might switch it to portrait mode. Hamburger way versus hot dog way. Guys remember that from grade school? As a general rule for your vision board, this is important. It is better for you to have 10, maybe 12 max images on a vision board than have like 100 or 200 images and quotes and features. It's very hard to actually look at and understand, in my opinion. I think it's okay to have a few simple goals every single year. You're actually more inclined to work towards them and hit them because it's simple and you can understand it. If you just got a laundry list of 20 things, I mean, it's kind of hard. Let's go back to our catalog. So here's a Greyhound. I have a German Shepherd. I love him to death, but I have always wanted a Greyhound dog. Love the royalness of that breed. 45-mile-an-hour couch potato is what they're called. Same deal, copy, paste it up. So you might have a goal that's a little ambiguous, like let's just say you want to make YouTube videos. Well, how do you put that on a vision board? What I would do is a technique I got from Neville Goddard called the congratulations frame. I want you to picture, in the case of this, that you are a YouTuber, what's one moment that's gonna solidify that for you? Like the end result of when you know you're a YouTuber. Is it when you quit your job? Is it when, in my case, you hit 100,000 subscribers? Is it when people are watching you? Is it when you built your studio? I want you to flash forward to that end result and choose an image that represents that. One of the ones I had is when I was starting a company, once I made $100,000 a year, I would have a party to celebrate it. So I would, in my mind, picture that celebration, almost like a birthday party, but it was in like a brewery or something at the time, right? So that's a good example, like one of those parties that represents that. Does that make sense? Easy one to quantify is a 1 million subscriber award. You are going on my vision board, Frankie. I made the joke 2 years ago when we were doing this, like imagine if they were some really offensive channel. We want to be just like him one day. Gets like arrested. He's Joe from You. I realize I'm pretty much just building a man cave. Got a Bond villain lair in the desert. Sort of like makes me look like a Bond villain. What do you think? One thing that's important to talk about here. See all these really nice photos here of like this dog and they kind of look like a stock photo. You see what I'm talking about? I actually don't like stock photos and really professional looking photos on your vision board. Because when you actually experience it, it's going to be through your eyes. It's not going to be through like 50,000 edited filters and whatnot. So actually go for more of the authentic looking photos if you can find them. So if I had to choose between this photo, which is really high quality and pro, and like this photo, I'd probably go with this photo because it looks like it's just taken through an iPhone. A quick mindset note on that to take away from this is I think to extrapolate on that point and go bigger, a lot of people are comparing their life to the vision boards of perfectness of others. Before you ever compare yourself to someone else's life, even my life, you're watching me right now, right? To compare, you need the full context. You don't know the full context of their thoughts throughout the day. Is their relationship falling apart? But it looks so perfect, right? He has an alcohol problem and he's drinking, but at least we write humongous captions talking about how much we love each other. The person who's running a business, but their customers hate them and they have a terrible rep in the industry. The fitness influencer who's talking about drinking supplement shakes, but they're injecting Tren and anabolics into themselves. The fashion influencer who's promoting a skincare product, but they have all this Botox and they don't tell you about it. I mean, I could keep going on and on and on. I think you understand. We can't even really compare ourselves to other people without the context. I love this Instagram versus reality places. I think this is very powerful to drive home. And so you have Insta, there's no one there, it's beautiful, the water, but in reality, it's just crowded. There's tourists, they're spilling beer in the lagoon. This is a BuzzFeed article. I think this is the only time I've consciously chosen to visit BuzzFeed. Coliseum right there versus reality. That versus Shipwreck Beach. You see my point? And when we realize this, we can find humor in it and acceptance in it. And I actually find a lot of peace in that. It's not lowering your expectations, it's just comparing. You need the full context. So if you want to make it this picture perfect, aesthetically pleasing, like Pinterest vision board, to each their own. Personally, for me, I'd rather go for more of a rough around the edges, raw approach with it, authentic approach with it. Put a little TR on there. Tony, one of my heroes. Live with passion. I used to want like an electric car and whatnot. The Cybertruck is cool, but lately I've been feeling a Ford Raptor. Getting some of that testosterone in a vehicle. I probably won't do any off-roading, but of course I'll get like the off-roading package, just in case. One time in 20 years I need to go off-roading, I'll be ready. One tip for you. 1, 5, 10. That's kind of the time frame I want you to think of. 1 year, 5 years, and 10 years. I really don't think you can predict 10 years down the road. You can have kind of an image of an intention that you want, but having like, I have to have this by this date on 10 years, a lot's gonna change in 10 years. And I've found really setting goals outside of 18 months to be sort of tricky. Again, you can have intentions, but it's like saying, I'm gonna go from LA to Seattle in one road and I'm sticking to that road. Even if there's a road closure, I'm just gonna wait on the road until it goes away, even if it's 2 weeks, because that's the road I decided on. Right? See how limiting that is versus if you remain flexible, go from LA to Seattle, if there's a road closure, I'll find another way around it. That's remaining flexible. And that's what I think when you have the intention, this is what I wanna do in 1, 5, or 10 years, but I'm not married to it, that's a much more powerful adaptation way you can go about it. I have all my clients do not just a vision board, but a story book where we literally create their dream character, you 2.0. How do they think, feel, and act? What sort of traits do they have? And we construct this dream character that becomes your identity, and we help you shift into it in 6 weeks. That's our metamorphic program. One of the women who came in and was with us, she was young, early 20s, just got out of the Air Force. She went through it. She had no clue. She didn't really have a job. She was living at home. She had really no clue what she was going to do with the next chapter of her life. She was in an unhappy relationship. Took our vision board, took our storybook, took our workshops that we actually help you do. For the first couple months, it sat there and she was like, is this thing actually working? I put my dream job on here. Okay, when's that dream job gonna pay off? I put this mural that I like on there because I'm a painter, but okay, when am I actually gonna paint murals like that? This impatience kind of kicks on, which is totally fine. You know, you want something not tomorrow, you wanted it yesterday, especially if you're in a spot that you're not too stoked on. I totally get it. Feeling that pressure or impatience. Well, she sends me a message after 8 months letting this thing marinate. You know, she sends me the message. It's a chunky message. It's probably that big. By the end of those 8 months, she moved out of her parents' basement. She got a job. And she would go to this job. It was her dream job in a community in Florida that she loved. She almost threw her phone. She was so excited when she saw it. She went into work the first day, looks out the window. You know what's there? Smack dab in her face? A mural. But not just any mural. The mural she put on her vision board that she wanted to see something like that every day. Now that's her view from work every single day. The relationship she was unhappy with, she ended. She found a new one, a guy who was super supportive, who supported her vision and her art that she wanted to do. She finally felt like things were turning around. That's just in 8 months to a year of making that and setting your intention on a vision board like this. I've seen it in my life, but I've seen it dozens and dozens and dozens of times in our program, in our coaching program, where people are setting intentions and they actually present themselves to you in a way sometimes it's even better than you put on this vision board. But it never will if you don't set that intention. Again, we do this in a manifesto is what I call it here. And this is like even more in depth than a vision board. So if you want to know more about this, it's in our metamorphic program. It is proprietary, so I'm never going to show this on YouTube. This is the back section of the journal that I was talking about. If you want to hear more about it or you're interested in that, I'll link down below where you can apply to be in our metamorphic program. If you're like, yes, I want this year to be different. I want to create the 2.0 version of me. I want to stop settling, start living. I don't want this education to be entertainment anymore. Like, I want some results. Click down below, speak to one of our enrollment coaches, and they can give you some more info on it. You also get to work with me one-on-one. We have live calls, or you can, ask me your questions if you want, talk to me. There's a lot of access in that program. We're also raising the price $1,000 in like a week. So don't wait, click that link down below, apply if you're at all interested. One tip, although I'm not the biggest of adding words, sometimes they can help, especially if you have anything like ambiguous. That's a tip. Now that you have your vision board, what do you actually do with it? Where do you put it? How do you make it so that it impacts you? Quick tips. 1, you might actually export it, screenshot it, and put it as your desktop background. Number 2, you could make a mobile version and put it as your lock screen. Fantastic. I mean, you're gonna look at your phone 50 times a day or pick it up, reinforcing it, getting it in your subconscious. 3, you could print it out and put it in the back of your journal. That's what I recommend right here. This is my vision board. So every time I'm looking at my goals, I'm hit with it right there. And the 4th one, this is a bit of a hack. I don't know if this is TMI, but what I do is I print it out and I put it in my bathroom wall. You're gonna be in there multiple times a day. You might, 3 minutes when you're brushing your teeth, or I just find that's an easy place where there's like downtime, but you can still look at it and reinforce it in your subconscious. If you're here, you're still watching, that means you made it to the end of this video. I know that you're serious and you're gonna do this. So if you do, send me a photo on Instagram. Just take a photo, send it to me so I know that you made it. If you want to share it with someone, bring it on. If you want some professional help on this and you're ready to shift and create into the 2.0 version of you that you know you're capable of, click that link down below, apply for our metamorphic program. We've got a few spots available and we'll see if it's even a good fit and we can potentially help you. That's it. Thank you so much for being here. Love ya. And until next time, stop settling, start living. See ya.